Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Python, and welcome back to Vintage Story. You join me here working on the basement underneath my base area. Got a whole bunch of claystone cobblestone. I've got some maple logs in the corner. And once all the walls have been filled in, I want to make a start on making some shelves, upon which we can store all of our food crocs. But before I continue on, I just want to spend a second to say a massive thank you for all of your incredible support so far in this series. I really appreciate it a lot, folks. Oh, hey! Look at this! The crimson maple trees have finally grown. Ah! They look beautiful, don't they? I think if we continue on with only sparsely populating the perimeter of this lake with crimson maple, that would look really, really nice alongside maybe some regular trees as well. Yeah, make this into a proper little forested lake. Time to quickly check on our crops here. A bunch of 2 out of 7s for the onions, 4 and 5 out of 11s. For the soybeans. There's 11 growth stages to soybeans. That is nuts. 6s and 7s on the spelt. We've got 6s and 7s on the flax. And pretty much 7 across the board for the rice. So we're probably not a million miles away from finally getting ourselves a bunch of grainy type stuff. And more importantly, the flax. And the good news is, it's raining, so I don't even have to water the crops today. So, there we are with some more claystone cobblestone. Let's get ourselves down here, get the remaining few blocks placed in. And then what we need to do is get ourselves up to the top here, grab ourselves some of these here boards, and so far as I can remember, you can make, like, shelves? Or is it only 2 we need? I can't remember. I've got to be honest with you. Oh, so it is only 2 per row. To be fair, that makes sense as well, because when we go ahead and place down a croc, it takes up 1/2 of an area. So yeah, we're looking pretty good here, folks. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a ton more of these. Only I really do want to do the whole area here. The intention is I want to not have to go looking for food during the upcoming winter. So the more prepped we can get now, the better things are going to be. So yeah, 3 walls worth of shelves. The only thing is, when it comes to the top shelves here, I was going to say we can't really see the crocs all that well. But then again, all you got to do is like hover over it and you can see what exactly the croc, actually has inside it, food-wise. Huh. Okay, I'm kind of down with this then. This is cool. So, before we go on with the main thing I want to do in today's episode, I think some more food is needed. And you know what? Alongside the food, I also think a ton more crocs need to be made, right? So, where are we at? 4 crocs? Can we do 4 at a time? Yes, we can. Oh, thunder, huh? Well, that is an interesting one. Have we had thunder so far in this series? I mean, if we have, it was like while we were exploring, not while we're here just sort of doing things at our base. In a weird kind of way, it's kind of therapeutic. I kind of like thunderstorms, actually. As dangerous as they are, when you just sat inside doing some nice chill things like reading or whatever the heck else, yeah, thunderstorms can be quite therapeutic for that. Is that just me? Alrighty, a whopping 12 crocs ready to be pickled. Come on, only 30 bits of dry grass needed, and then we can get ourselves out of this thunderstorm. There we are. Beautiful. Sticks, brown coal, light these bad boys up, and then we should be able to head to sleep and speed these things along real nice like. So, close the door, close out the thunderstorm, have ourselves a lovely snooze while simultaneously eating food, because apparently you can do that in this game. Sleep eating. And there we are, a brand new early morning. And it's still rainy. But hey, it means we don't have to water the plants today again, so I'll take it. We're a bit limited on the food department, but we've got ourselves some pretty high-end foodstuffs to cook up. So here we are. 6 servings of hefty red meat turnip stew. Although actually, can I not put like 3 loads of 6 in there? Yeah. So real quick, one of the other things I've done since the last episode is I made myself some tool racks. So I finally got them looking nice and organized on the wall instead of being all sprawled out all across the floor. And actually, talking of things being sprawled out all across the floor, vertical racks. If we were to make a couple of these, we should be able to store all of our various clay molds in them. Yeah, there we are. That's looking pretty good. I do need a second rack, however, to get all of the molds placed in. Can I place them on top of each other? Yeah, I can, but it's not rotated correctly. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Who says your boy isn't taking steps to at least try to be organized in this game, eh? There we are. Alrighty, finally, a whole bunch of food. 1,410 saturation restored with this meal. That is unbelievable. That very, very almost is your entire hunger bar. So some of you folks in the comments area were saying that apparently placing crocs on shelves in a cellar will be enough to extend the duration of the spoil timer sort of by itself. Unfortunately, I have no reference point just yet. I think I need to wait for these to cool down a little bit, and then it will tell me how long they're fresh for. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they make it so you can place a whole ton more stuff on shelving units now? Like, if I was to take this, yeah. Nice. Okay, ingots. Yeah, there we are. Oh, this is so cool. So we can have ourselves a shelving unit dedicated to hosting the various stuff we use for whatever purposes. You know, smelting, ingot making, cooking, all that kind of stuff. That is one of the things I honestly love about this game, is just how wide a variety of storage solutions there are in this game. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'll tell you something, Minecraft could certainly learn a thing or two from this game, storage-wise. That's not me being a Minecraft hater, by the way. For any of you guys who don't know, I actually do have a Minecraft channel, PythonMC, entirely dedicated to that game, but you can't deny, Minecraft is kinda lacking in storage solutions these days, isn't it? Especially compared to this game. Anyway, here we are. A whole bunch more hefty red meat turnip stews. So let's go ahead and get this filled up, and then we're just going to wait for the rest of the crocs to finish at this point. Anyway, for now, looks like we finally have ourselves a reference point. 5 days spoil timer for this particular croc. If I was to just place it, I don't know, within here, it goes up to 16 days. What if I was to put it on a shelf, though? Let's have ourselves a bit of a look here. 15.9 days, so basically 16 rounded again. Right. Very good. So what if I was to put this sealed croc on a shelf? Within the vessel, it has 1 year. And on here, it's still 1 year. So it's about the same, isn't it? Look at the amount of lumps of rendered fat we have going on, my friends. Oh my goodness me, is that looking good? The thing is, though, I don't really see a need to seal my food, not for a long time yet. Once we get to a point where we are properly going crazy, stockpiling a bunch of crocs, yeah, maybe then we will start sealing them. But for now, you know, we need to have food for now, so we can actually get to winter in the first place, eh? Talking of which, look at that. We've just hit August. So we're in the middle of summer already. Very good, my friends. The 12 crocs have been cooked. So then, the big thing I want to do in today's episode is I want to try and find myself some iron. My first ever iron of the series. In order to do that, we need to do just a little bit of prospecting. We've got our copper prospecting pick with our 150 durability. So, yeah, we should be looking pretty good. And then the tin bronze pickaxe should be enough to mine the iron up as well. So then, shall we start off beside our base, see what kind of stuff we have underneath us? Let's do this thing. What you need to do is you need to mine up a rock. Need 2 more samples. The other sample rocks need to be a few blocks away from each one you mine. I think 3 blocks is the amount it needs to be. So let's go and do this one here. Oh my word, I just saw a lightning strike on the left-hand side. Yikes. And then the final one, let's do it here in my old charcoal pit. And then, oh yeah, look at all that. Magnetite, borax, cassiterite, and galena. Galena is lead. Borax we already know about. Cassiterite will turn into tin, which would definitely be useful. But the big thing we need is magnetite. We've got ourselves a small supply of magnetite around here. I imagine if we explore our world a whole bunch and do a bunch more prospecting, maybe we can get that little percentage higher. Maybe we can get something better than very poor as well. So real quick, there is a prospecting entry in the handbook. As you can see, density search mode. That's what we're doing right now. Break 3 rock blocks in close proximity to sample the area for ores. The sample blocks must be located a minimum of 3 blocks apart. You can sample anywhere as long as you break rock. For example, when you come across a cave, an outcropping of stone, or dig through the dirt to reach solid rock, break 1 block to start the sampling process, move at least 3 blocks and break another block. Do this again to finish collecting your samples. And in terms of how to actually interpret what comes up, there is an example here. So we've got like ultra high cassiterite, and we've also got very poor chromite. So the 0.3 represents how much there is per mil, or out of 1,000. So in this case, 0.3 means roughly 0.3 out of 1,000 rock blocks contain this ore. The ultra high bit means you have the highest chance of being able to actually find that ore. On the flip side, you got very poor, which means there will be a low chance of there being the chromite, but the 0.5 means there will be around 0.5 out of 1,000 rock blocks containing that ore. So the TLDR of this is we have a high chance of finding a low amount of cassiterite, and on the flip side, we have a low chance of finding slightly more chromite. So with the magnetite, we have a low chance of finding magnetite. The 0.58 means there's around 0.58 magnetite within 1,000 rock blocks. So with that all explained, hopefully to an okay degree, I know it's a lot to take in and try to understand, let's go ahead and take ourselves another reading. Let's go over here, shall we? A little bit of claystone there. 1, 2, 3 blocks along. A little bit right here. And then 1, 2, 3, and a final rock block right here. What is this going to produce for us this time? Oh, look at that. Poor borax. So there's a slightly higher than very poor chance of finding a good amount of borax. But anyways, as I was saying before, it is the magnetite that we are going to be wanting. Oh, looks like hematite can also be used to get iron though. Very good. Anthracite. Let's have a look at the entry for anthracite. I'm clicking on the anthracite, but it's not coming up with any entries. Isn't anthracite a type of coal or fuel to be used on, like, fire pits and kilns? Yeah, it is. You find it in the form of an ore, and it drops anthracite. Burn temperature, 1200 degrees Celsius. But look at the burn duration. Over 3 minutes per bit? That really would be quite the thing to find. The only thing is, I've never found anthracite before. Therefore, I don't actually know if I can even mine it yet. Oh yeah, and going back to the prospecting, every time you get yourself a reading, you get a little circle automatically added to your map. If it's red, then it means there's not really too much going on. If you ever manage to get like a green circle, it means there's probably a healthy amount of stuff underneath here. So here we are with a bit of a cave entrance. Shall we do ourselves another reading? I think that would be a nice idea. One right there. We'll take a rock from right here. And we'll do this one over here as well. The ore you can see to my left is actually flint. You can break it with your bare hands to just get flint. Can you break it with a pickaxe as well? I mean, yeah, you can, but was that a waste of pickaxe durability? I don't know. Oh, maybe not. We were definitely able to break the other flint ore block a lot faster, weren't we? Oh, that's interesting. It didn't get rid of the stone block that hosts it, though. So there we are. A way of getting flint without breaking stone. That's actually kind of cool. In terms of the reading around here, my goodness me, is that a massive variety of stuff. But it's all very poor, so it's a low chance of finding any one of those things. The native copper and the bituminous? I don't know, bit coal. I'm going to call it bit coal. It's just easier. Yeah, the native copper and the bit coal have high amounts, and same with the borax, but we already know there's a good amount of borax around here, so that info isn't really all that interesting to me. Whoa! So, a poor chance of a lot of native copper is what I'm taking away from that reading. Could we potentially do better than only a poor chance of finding the native copper, though? I know that copper isn't really something we need right now, but to be able to have ourselves a vast amount of it readily available underground nearby our base, that would be quite something. So what I'm doing here is I'm literally just digging down to the top layer of stone. I've got the center bit, which I'm going to get a sample from. Then I dig 4 blocks to either side, and then boom, I can get some more samples. So if I break this one, I should have an idea as to the sort of stuff we have. So the native copper, that's gone down. A decent chance of finding a low amount of cassiterite. I mean, tin, it's gonna be useful, isn't it? Oh, well, ain't this a turn up? I was going to head down into this little mini cave to get another reading, and there's actually something here. What is that? Oh, it's lead ore. And there's borax down here. Hey, this ain't too bad, is it? And there we are. Decent native copper. Wow. A good chance of finding a lot of copper. Bro, that's amazing. This one, we definitely have to keep this one. No, I don't want to delete the reading. I want to maybe delete some of these other ones, like the red ones, where there's not really too much going on. Because, yeah, it won't take much for our map to just be completely full of splodges. Ultra high native copper. Holy crap. 34.14. I don't think I've ever seen a number that high when I've prospected in Vintage Story before. As a result of the native copper now being ultra high, you can see that we have ourselves a green splodge. That is what I was talking about before. That is what we want to keep an eye on. We don't want to lose this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with like only the green, maybe the yellow readings at most. Yes, there's some magnetite in some of these readings, but it's a low amount, isn't it? Okay, so we've got something other than very poor for magnetite. I wonder if we can try and get something better than poor. What it's telling me, though, is we need to sort of stick around this location, roughly. So, interpreting this little cluster of prospects, magnetite is what we're looking at. We've got 1.02 poor here. We've got 1.26 poor here. And then the other two are sort of lower down, aren't they? So, logic is telling me, maybe if we head south... Hey! Who tried? Oh, you son of a turd. Where the hell did you come from, bud? Go on, get out of it. Go bye-byes. But yeah, my logic is telling me we need to go in a south, maybe even southeasterly direction. Maybe then we can get something other than poor magnetite. Hey, decent magnetite now, my friend. Seems like southeast is indeed the direction to go for this. And the magnetite has now started to go back down again. So, yeah. Looks like this sort of general location is going to be the place we need to start digging ourselves a ladder shaft. Real quick, one last prospect directly south of where that orange dot is there. And then we'll see what's going on in terms of the magnetite supply. What have we got here now? Poor magnetite. Okay, so yeah, this yellow area here, this is going to be where we dig a ladder shaft and hope that we can find the magnetite. A light temporal storm? Are you having me on? What the hell? Well, the good news is, my spawn point is literally here. Yeah, that's right, buddy. Can't kill me. Where's all my stuff? Ah, okay. Okay, okay. Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. Death loop, isn't it? We're going to have a death loop here. No! The biggest yikes to us dying, though, is the decrease in the maximum amount of health we have. Look at that. My nutrition bars have almost entirely reset. Ah! Oh, my God! What are you doing in here? Go. Get out of my house, you turd. Do you know what? There doesn't seem to be too much going on out here. I'm going to try it. Oh, there's my stuff. There we are. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And now we just got to get back inside the house before I inevitably die again. There we are. Woo! Okay. The temporal storm seems to be waning. About bleeding time. Deep split shiver. Damage tier 4? Oh, look at that. We got ourselves a temporal gear. Oh, you absolute legend. Thank you so much, buddy. Tier 4? That's normally the level of dudes you find in the far depths of your world. We've got ourselves 7 rusty gears from that guy and a couple of flax fibers. Wow. If you are able to kill the tier 4 dudes, they don't half give you some good stuff. So then, here we are. And down this little shaft, there seems to be, I would suggest, the most logical place to start this mine shaft, ladder shaft, whatever you want to call it. So, let's go ahead and break a couple of dirt blocks back here. And then we'll begin on our ladder. Here's what I'm thinking. As we go down, we use our prospecting pick, change the mode. You press F to change the mode to node search mode. In other words, it's short range. And then what will happen is when we start getting near to where the iron is, it should start cropping up on the chat. What have we got? Flint, small amounts. Not what we're looking for. So far as I can remember, that short range mode on the prospecting pick searches for 6 blocks away from you. So, logic, in my mind anyway, says that we should leave 12 blocks in between where we do a short range prospect. So, we're going to go down 4 blocks here, then another 4 blocks, so 8 in total, and here we are coming up on 12 blocks in total. So let's go ahead, grab out our prospecting pick, make sure it's on node search mode, and we will break this rock, see what happens, see what comes up on the chat there. What have we got? Galena, small amounts. Galena is lead, isn't it? So, down another 12 blocks we go. Here we are. What are we going to have crop up this time? Let's have ourselves a bit of a look-see here, shall we? Nothing. All right, now I know we're getting into the depths here. We've come across andesite rock, which, to be honest, actually looks pretty good in cobblestone form. But anyways, what have we got? Still no ore nodes. Wow. How far down do we need to go here? As you can see, my little cog at the bottom center there, it's starting to spin anti-clockwise, which means eventually we'll start seeing things. Just something you have to bear in mind with Vintage Story. You can only really explore the depths for a limited amount of time, because otherwise you're gonna start going crazy. Blimey, we're still going. This is incredible. We're gonna run out of ladders at this rate. Still nothing. Absolutely incredible. What is slightly more unnerving, though, is I am now starting to hear things. I suspect... Oh, yeah, I can hear them now. There's a cave around here, isn't there? Uh-oh. We probably won't be able to take much more than just one shot before dying here. We don't have as high an amount of HP as we once did, unfortunately. I'm really starting to think that we need to dig in other directions to try and find the iron. Only it doesn't seem to be ahead of us, does it? Not really. I mean, look how far down we are now. Oh, whoa, whoa! That's a cave. Hold the phone. That is a cave, and it's very, very far down. Which means... yikes. In a word. Like, literally, yikes. Oh, no. All right, let's do one more prospect way down there. What have we got, if anything? Nothing. Ah, rats. Okay, in which case, plan B is to start digging some little corridors coming off of the sides of the ladder shaft and then sort of prospecting down those instead. So I think what we'll do is we'll start at the top of the andesite layer here, which is just about here, and then we'll start digging side to side. We'll go ahead and do, I don't know, like 4 blocks. So that's 3, then 4, and then we do a prospect dig. And then we just kind of hope that at some point, the stuff's... Oh, Galena. Interesting. So already we're coming across some interesting stuff. It's not quite what we're looking for, but there's proof of concept right there, right? I won't lie, having pretty limited knowledge of mining in this game, a lot of this is just trial and error for me right now, but I do hope that it's something that you folks enjoy watching. Okay, so there's nothing there, so let's go down, I'm going to say 2 of these divots, each one being 4 blocks, and then we'll do ourselves another little poke hole. By all means, if you guys have any prospecting or mining hints, tips, tricks, anything like that, by all means head down to the comments area. I'd be very, very appreciative for the help. I'm starting to think I got debated by the surface prospect readout at this point. We are damn near at the bottom of the world yet again, and still no sign of the magnetite vein. I suppose there's always the slim chance that the iron could be behind the ladder someplace, right? There is always the possibility, of course, that the iron could be behind the ladder. I think what I'll do is I'll get myself a ton of blocks, right? And then when I chop out the ladder and then prospect, I can then at least put back the block and then put the ladder back, right? So then, for the final time, down the ladder we go. We'll start at the bottom, and we'll make our way up. Oh, it's lead. Ah, darn it, man. I never thought I'd be disappointed to see lead. Do you know what? I'm really struggling to shake the feeling that this has been a completely wasted exercise. I've wasted pretty much an entire copper pickaxe on this exercise. I've wasted pretty much an entire copper prospecting pick on this exercise. All for some magnetite that had a decent chance to be there, but ultimately wasn't. What I should have done was just go for the ultra-high native copper. At least then I could have made myself some backup gear, right? Some more pickaxes and prospect picks. I mean, to be fair, there's nothing really stopping us from doing that right now, right? So my hope here is, as a result of it being ultra-high and such a massive number of native copper, I'm hoping that I'll be able to find it before my copper pick runs out. Only if it does, then we are kind of screwed, and we actually need to start panning for copper again. Oh, snap. All right, we do have a cave here, but it's not actually that far down. As a result, could we actually get away with exploring this, do you think? Oh, I don't know. I can see something back there. Okay, bunch of dudes rolling around. There's some lead. There's some borax. No sign of any copper, though. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the copper is further down. I'm going to have to stop, aren't I? I'm going to have to stop. I'm going to have to go to where there is a copper vein guaranteed. And, yeah. Ah. What a frustrating process this is. Although, to be fair, it's only frustrating because I haven't come down, like, entirely prepared, have I? Alrighty. Well, at least it's medium quality. That's not too bad, actually. Medium gives you, 20 units. So we only need 5 of these chunks to make ourselves an ingot. Okay. And I know, some of you folks might be saying, well, Python, why don't you just use your tin bronze pickaxe instead? It's because I want to use this thing pretty much exclusively for mining high-end stuff. I don't want to use it just for mining up stone to try and find stuff. And there we are, the last of the last copper pickaxes. We've got ourselves enough units of copper here for, I believe, 5 ingots, so that's pretty decent, I would say. And we've still got some copper to mine up here as well. And let's not forget about the little copper bits on the surface as well. So, one backup prospecting pick. I'm also going to make myself a copper shovel, because why not? We've got ourselves a regular copper pick. A couple of ingots, because shears and maybe a knife might be something I want to try and make. And then once this is hardened, I'm going to get myself yet another pickaxe even still. Alrighty, one knife blade coming up. There we are. And one pair of shears coming up. This one's a little bit more meticulous. Only we've got a bunch of squares here that we need to relocate to other places. And the thing is, you can't go ahead and smash them to the side. But what we can do is, because there is a little air voxel adjacent to this, it means we can bash this one up and around. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that a few times. And with a little bit of jiggery pokery, we've managed to do this with just one ingot, a pair of shears, and also a knife blade. In other news, looks like Farmer Python is going to have plenty of stuff to do in the next episode. Flax, spelt, the rye, it's all looking pretty good. Alright, so maybe this hasn't been a completely wasted episode. We now have at least all copper tools now, which is pretty good. And yes, I've sort of introduced you to the world of prospecting and how sometimes it can actually be quite unlucky. But, well, it's all good. To really finish off this episode on a high note, though, I think what I'd like to do is try and find that mega copper vein. Ultra high, 34.14% or per mil. Oh, hello. We've come across something here. What is that? Bismuth. Hey, was that even on the readout? Yeah, bismuth, 1.18% or per mil. Okay, that's kind of cool. Wasn't expecting to actually find that. I was expecting to bump into the copper first. Native copper, large amounts detected. We are right down at layer 11. Blimey O'Reilly. So somewhere around here is a ginormous copper vein. Oh, man, I'm so excited to find it. It shouldn't be too long here. Native copper, very large amounts. Oh, your boy's getting excited now. Yeah. Oh, snap. I think we found the beginnings of it, my friends. It's only poor quality, but if the prospect readout is anything to go by, there's going to be a ridiculous ton of this stuff. Oh, interesting. We've got up to medium copper with this little bit. Ah. Hey, that's pretty cool, actually. So then, my friends, I think on that successful note, it is time to wrap up today's episode. Yes, the prospecting kind of kicked our butts a little bit, but we came out at the end with a super massive copper vein of epicness. And do you know what? I'm feeling pretty good about it. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to drop a like, of course. And if you don't want to miss out on my future vintage story episodes, consider hitting that subscribe button. For now, though, my friends, have a fantastic rest of your day.